I was always the charity case.
Yeah.
And growing up, it was like, okay, starting off from where am I going to live? My parents just got, my mom just got deported. I was used to living with just my mom. She was
Yep.
a single mom.
Yeah.
And it was always just like, I was always that charity
Yeah.
case. And even when I got to school, to college, I was like getting scholarships. I was doing so many things for like, I was always that charity case. I don't know how to explain it, but it was even going when I went to college. I went to this. I applied for the program. I'm really good at finding resources and grants and
Yeah.
scholarships and things like that because the access to information is so limited
Yeah.
and opportunity. So I've always really been big on that. So I'm
That's
really
good.
good at finding scholarships and stuff like that, or
Nice.
resources, or
Yeah.
like food banks and stuff
There
like
we
that.
go.
Any of that sort. Um, but I think it was because I know what it felt like to be that charity case
Yeah.
that like that's why I also got into like community service and
Gotcha.
philanthropy because
Yeah.
I'm like I know what that
Oh,
feels.
that makes sense. Yeah.
You know, so it's just it's crazy how even now I'm in a way I'm still that charity case.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and I have to learn how to switch it to my mentality because it's not like poor me, I'm that charity case.
Yeah.
It's hey, I am allowing people to show me how what's in their heart,
There
about
you go.
allowing to
Yes.
accept help.
Yes. There you
And
go.
there was so many people that
Yeah.
helped me throughout my life.
Yeah.
I've had mentors. I've had like so many like older people that would come into the school, the community, and like give back.
Yeah.
And I guess like even now I'm still kind of struggling with
Yeah.
learning how to receive,
Yeah.
but not feeling like I'm that victim charity
Yes.
case.
Yeah. No, I get
you
it.
know?
So there was my fifth grade teacher told me this. She said, "You don't have the luxury if people are giving you something to say no," because I never wanted to feel like that charity case, right?
Yeah.
Mooching, you know what I mean? And she said, "You don't have the luxury for that. You need everything you can get," because they knew my situation, right?
Yeah.
And so I always made sure my heart, like if I really needed it. But something you mentioned about, pretty much just what you're saying, and in a nutshell, I've always had it what I needed, right? And the Bible makes it real clear about us. Like, why do you worry about what you're going to wear or what you're going to eat? Even the birds are taken care of. Why are you worried, right? And then you think back, like, yeah, God is what He's. I'm going to provide. I need you to trust me, because the one thing I know this is people say God can do whatever He wants. God actually can. He has His limits. If you don't have faith, He can't force you to do it. You have free will. But He's telling you, if you do have faith, you see that mountain, you can move that over here. And I think that's powerful and strong, especially when you're battling a physical battle that turns into a mental, then spiritual battle. You know what I mean?
Everything's all connected.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's why it's so important, like, to take care of. Like, part of the healing process is mental health, mental and spiritual. Everything is all connected. All your chakras, everything is all connected. But you more than most understand like what I say. Like I need to have a safe space. I need to be surrounded by a support group that just understands what I'm going through right now physically, because stress has a physical response on my body.
Yeah. And I can tell you, I know that because of what I've been experiencing here. And it's really teaching me. Like, I know my wife asked me a question. She said, how can I help you when you're under stress? And this was like a month ago, right? And I said,
I love
like,
that question.
I said, like, I don't know, because I'm not used to being helped when I'm stressed. I'm used to getting through it. But the problem is, it still weighs down on you. So now you're displaying it in other areas of your life, whether it's your parenting, your job, your friendship, your relationship, whatever. And I really had to sit down and think about that, because I said, that's not healthy. Like, I don't need to be in survival mode anymore. I grew up in that. And you mentioned survival mode, and I grew up in it. Every day was like groundhogs. It was like the same thing. We're just trying to get through. You talk about planning for the future. No. We're planning for the next hour. You know what I mean? Like we're playing because you don't know. So every day is and the teacher would tell me like you were in survival mode so much that you don't know how to be loved. You don't know how to let go. And I had to learn to let go, but I learned that through becoming a Christian because I didn't know the people that I looked up to, I also seen their flaws. And I was like, I don't, you know what I mean? And I'm not judging you. I just don't want to pick that up. And I know you know what I mean? So when I was able to really dig and get a relationship, with Jesus, it changed my whole life. Because the person I was, like, I had no problem, running up and hey, doing heists. It is what it is. Because my brother did 17 years in prison. You know what he did when we were younger? He stole so we could eat. And I tell people this all the time. He did everything so that we can get through. And it's so messed up when you think about it, because he became a product of that. And he felt like he always had to save. But then he tried to join a gang, and he did all the wrong things. And then he ended up in prison, and did my brother's almost 40, 17 years. Do the math, you know what I mean? So imagine him coming back into society. But you know what I can say about him? He never blames. He said, nope. He calls me, this is what I got going on. I got this, because obviously that's my brother. I'm going to help him. But it's the mentality. Like, this is someone who can say, I'm just, you know what I mean? I have I'm accustomed to this environment in prison, right? I can't think of the word right now, but that's just him not using, I'm a jailbird, but I'm going to survive. And I'm going to have a family. And I'm going to work hard. And I said, I respect that because a lot of people don't. So when you talk about these situations, God has warriors here. And some of them you can see on the outside, right? And some of them you can see on the inside. And some of them both. And I think you're both. But I think that your story is powerful because of your grit and perseverance. Because of your listen, I'm not giving up now, right? I heard this today, so this is not me, but I liked it. So like, God, why'd you take him so early? And God said, because he finished his mission faster than others did. You know what I mean? It's like you did your job so well, you did it too fast. And I don't want you around us anymore. You know what I mean? And that really hit me because it's like, you know how they say the good die young? That's scary, right? But death is the beginning of life when you really understand. And it took me a while to understand that. But there's also a death on this earth that we die to. And that's us being baptized, dying to our old self, and coming back and living that new life, right? So as we transition into our next segment, how has your definition of health changed since chemo ended?
My definition of health right now is just it's really focusing on mental and spiritual.
Gotcha.
It's I'm giving my body a break. It's been through so much.
Yes.
And everything that I mentioned just growing up, I've put my body through so much.
Wow.
And I've never realized that I never saw myself as my body and then me.
Yeah.
It was always together. And now I'm seeing it, I've been separating it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I need to treat her with grace. I need to be more gentle with her. I've been treating her with so much tough love. I've been treating her with so much tough love. Life has already been treating her with so much tough love. And I'm also treating her with tough love. Like, can we give her a break? Yeah. Let her rest for a little bit. Let her, let's love her more. Let's take Epsom salt baths.
There we go.
Let's go on a hike.
Yeah.
Let's hydrate more. Ladies, let's drink more water.
Talk about it, yeah.
Little things like that. Now I'm detaching myself from my body, and I'm like, okay, I'm not like a warrior princess. Like I always felt, and a mentor one time told me, she's like, you're not Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
You're taking on too much. You're doing too much.
Yeah.
Like you're doing you've already gone through so much.
Yeah.
you're so hard on yourself, you're so critical,
Yeah.
you're so this, you're so that. Like, give yourself a break.
Yeah.
So right now, for me, mental health is so, so important because now that I'm done with chemo, a lot of people don't talk about a lot of GI issues that you get.
Yeah, talk about it.
The chemo messed up your stomach. It's so, and everything, all of your organs. So a few of the things that chemo did for me was it took me into early menopause. And what that means is you don't have any, I'm 33 right now. I shouldn't be experiencing this until I'm like way older.
Yeah.
It can start at 35 for women. And it's not just like hot flashes. It's brain fog. It messes with your, if you're low on progesterone or estrogen or testosterone, like you can't start a project and finish it. You don't have mental clarity. Wow. Your bones, you age faster. Like there's just so many things that happen to your body.
Yeah.
And not just like the low libido, like not just that. Like there's just so much that happens and you don't even know what's kind of like, you don't, most of the time you can't even like pinpoint it. You talked about defining the importance of defining terms in mental health.
Yes.
And in everything.
Yeah.
Once you know that definition of what it is, then things are less scary. Then you know how to address it.
Yes.
And then you know how to, in life or like dating or relationships, once you know the term, like love bombing, for example, gaslighting, then you know how to prevent it and how to avoid it and not to fall into the same patterns.
Yeah.
So with this, the same thing with like menopause. Once you know what it is, then you can address it and take some hormone replacement to get your levels where they're at. It's kind of like, you know, when you have low blood sugar.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Like, when's the last time you tested your hormones? Have you ever?
Well, you know, I bodybuild, so I kind of got to get blood work done. There's a large panel, you're right. Like, so let's talk about this.
Yeah.
And thank you for educating the audience on that. You know, menopause, and you don't have to be 45, 50 to get it. You know, and circumstances similar to yours. And it's crazy. It's like, man, am I ever going to get a break? Jeez, I went through this when I was young. Then I get hit with this. You know what I mean? Then the aftermath of getting hit with cancer, I get hit with menopause. You know what I mean?
Then I get hit with GI issues.
Right.
And then the GI issues the GI issues, that was a curveball too, because some girls experience, well, men and women, they experience these GI issues from day one.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Day one of chemo, because it's so strong, depending on, you know, what your treatment plan is.
Yeah.
I was very blessed that I didn't feel those symptoms until my last treatment.
Got you.
And I finished chemo December 18th. I weighed 122 pounds. Right now I weigh 111 pounds.
Wow.
And the symptoms are you either have diarrhea or you're constipated. You can't eat, like, or you're vomiting, you're nauseous. And when you have those symptoms, like yesterday, for example, I ate hummus. And who would have known? Chickpeas are hard for me to digest right now, and I had a little bit of lemon, so I started feeling nauseous. I felt like I was gonna throw up, and my energy's just like slumped. You get extreme fatigue, and I had to lay down. I had to and I sleep it off because there's nothing that I can take for like stomach pain. I can take antacids or like Zofran for nausea, but like for this, you get like really bad stomach cramps and pain, and you're just like, oh my gosh. And I have a very high pain tolerance. Yeah. But it knocks me out. Like I want to go to sleep. I just want to lay down immediately, and I get depressed.
Wow.
I get depressed. Your gut is so in tune with your mental health. Yes. So if you're stressed out, again, that's what I said, you get a physical reaction. Like then my stomach starts hurting, or I start feeling like nauseous or fatigue, or if my stomach hurts, then I get depressed, and I'm just like trying to fight it. Like I started crying yesterday. Wow. And it happens so often. So I'm so used to crying. For me, crying is therapeutic. Yeah. But I do want to say that I've never been to a point where I've been crying and praying to God at the same time. Wow. This is the first time, this phase of my life, this type of journey that I'm on, this is the first time that I'm doing that. And for me, it's, when I think about it, I'm like, it's not sad. I'm like, it's beautiful because
Yeah.
I know like he knows
Yes.
my pain. He understands me, and I don't
Yes.
have to over explain, and I don't have to like explain, hey, like I really need to be at peace with my healing journey right now, and I don't need to explain it to friends and family like,
Yeah.
hey guys, I need to be at peace. I need stress level to be low. Like I
Yes.
get a physical. I don't have to explain
Yeah.
myself. Like he just
Yeah.
gets it.
Just gets it. Isn't that amazing to just know that you have someone that gets it? Because there's a lot of people that go through this life and never have that relationship with God or anyone. And they felt like they're always very misunderstood and they're just very lonely. And I tell people this, don't be fooled by Instagram pictures, videos, and all of that. When someone posts a video out of nowhere of them on a vacation years ago, that's telling you a lot about where they are right now. And people don't know the signs of mental health psychologically, right? Where you're just lonely, you're sad. You know what I mean? You're even depressed. Some people can't pick that up because we have a way today of making our lives look better than what it really is. And that's what I don't like about, I mean, it's social media is a gift, but it's also a downfall to a lot of people because you're displaying this reality that's not real. When that camera turned off, and that's why I said I don't like scripts. When that camera turned off, I want to feel the same way I felt when it was on,
Right.
and as opposed to when it turns off, because at that point you're being genuine, you're being real. I don't care about the I don't care about, oh, you should have. No, because we're being authentic. We're being real. That's the only way you're going to save people. That's the
Right.
only way you're going to save yourself.
Yeah, it's funny
I'm
you
tired of
mentioned.
faking. You know?
Yeah, no, same. I mean, that's what I do for a living.
Yeah.
Like, I work in marketing.
Yeah.
This is, I curate everything.
Yeah.
And even with my journey, I shared my journey since day one.
Yeah.
And I remember asking the nurse, I'm like, do a lot of people record while they're getting chemo? And she's like, not really, but some do. But I see it as a way of them coping
Got you.
with being here. And I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, I didn't know by me recording everything, it's my way of coping with what's happening and
Yeah.
getting outside of the reality of things.
Yeah.
So for me, I was recording everything so that I wouldn't like get scared because I was scared.
Yeah.
I didn't know how chemo was gonna feel like. I didn't know
Yeah.
if I was gonna be shivering, freezing, if it was gonna be painful. I had no
Yeah.
idea. A lot of with this journey, it's a lot of like dark corners. Like you
Yeah.
don't know what's a lot of
Yeah.
unknown, and that's what's
Wow.
scary. But
Yeah.
so I was recording just to cope with what was happening, and I wouldn't be able to edit the video until 2-3 weeks later because I had to go back and rewatch everything.
Ooh.
And I was watching everything and I would just get so emotional because
Yeah.
I was like, I'm
Yeah.
going through that. I did
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like that happened. Like that's
Wow.
so scary.
Yeah.
And I was watching it as like a viewer now, and I'm like, it was so hard for me to edit.
Yeah.
But and even it was one thing is editing the video, all the footage of the bags, and whenever they're getting the
Yeah.
chemo treatment out, where they have all of the coverings, it's
Yeah.
like you can't even touch the chemo that's going into my body, but it's going all over me. Like that's my
That's
medicine,
crazy.
but you can't even
Touch it.
they they get covered up in all these precautionary measures, but that's going inside my body.
Wow.
That was the scariest thing. And then not only editing the video, writing the caption, like having to relive that moment. So it was
Yeah.
it was very difficult.
Traumatizing.
It was yes, it was like
Yeah.
reliving the trauma.
Yeah.
And I did that
Yeah.
for 6 rounds. Every
Wow.
single time I went to record it, I'm like, I have to document this.
Yeah.
I have to do it. Like
Yeah.
I want to spread awareness and let people know that young people can get ovarian
Yeah.
cancer too.
Yeah.
Young women, and so
Yeah.
many more women are getting it, and
Yep.
it's so sad. Like I got my CT scan, and she's like, "You're the 4th young woman that is here for ovarian cancer."
Wow.
And I'm like, I need to keep recording.
Yeah.
I need to keep editing.
Yeah.
I need to keep posting. Like
Yeah.
I don't want anybody to go through it.
Yeah.
Like, because I know it's so scary, and I know
Yeah.
I can handle it
Yep.
because I've been through
been
life
through it,
has
yeah.
lifed.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the girl next to me can.
There we go. And that's what I tell people. When you feel bad about your situation, stop and say and think to yourself, one, could this be worse? And who life am I saving? And that'll help you keep going, because there were plenty of times, you know, I would sit in like people don't even understand. It's not about me. I'm not going to get into it. I'm going to share a little bit. There are times I sit in my kitchen and I have to look at my kids and wife, despite my financial situation. You know, grandmother died in December. My mother's in rehab now, right now, because eyes were yellow. She was liver failure, about to die, alcohol. She took another sip, she's dead. And you facing so much stuff, right? And I literally sit in the kitchen, and the questions I ask is like, God, why? Like money, God, it's just money. It's not that important. It's just money. Why? But I look up and I look around, I see my kids, and it brings me, my wife too, I work from home, but my wife, you know, she works in a school, and I literally can look at them and say, you know what, I can keep going, and this is why. And my 2-year-old, he doesn't have a concern of the world, nothing, right? And I said, that joy, just like I wish I could be like that. You don't care about when you're going to eat. He don't worry about his clothes. He doesn't worry about anything, right? Just having fun. Wants to go in the backyard and just run around. And I'm like, I need to get back to that. Because
Just
this
being
is
a
not that,
kid.
yeah, this is not that important. It's not. The bills are going to get paid. We'll worry about that later. We'll talk to, you know, the appointment can wait, right? This matters. This moment matters. I need to get through this moment, and I need to heal through this moment. Because if I don't, I'm going to end up back here again. So I always use something to help me never to get in that dark place. Because I really don't know what depression is. I've been said a lot, I don't know what depression is. When you describe it to me, I'm like, oh yeah, I had to say it. No one has okay, this is me treading water, but I'm gonna say it. People say I had a bad day. Oh, I had a bad day, da, da, da. I go, well, if we record your day and we break it down, you had bad moments, right? Now, a bad day is very hard to have all day. It's very hard to have. I don't think there's one human being that can literally have an entirely bad day and stay alive. Seriously, you have bad moments. You may have more moments than your average. So now when you're having a bad moment, know this. In the next 10 minutes, I'm gonna be okay. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna be fine. Right now, you got bad news, right? Your car broke down. Oh my gosh, I gotta get to work. But then you're gonna, somebody call you and be like, oh, your sister's pregnant. Now you're happy. That moment is in the past now. It comes back, but in the moment, you have joy. So when you really understand, I gotta train my mind that life is gonna happen, but I can determine my response to this situation. Am I gonna grieve? And because grief is love. Grief is love that doesn't know where to go, you know? And as you continue to understand it more, you can then cope with it. But our story, because remember, everybody may not hear it, but I think the people that need to hear it, hears it. And I think for someone like you, right now, despite everything you've been through, you are more loved than you ever were before, I promise you that. And you have no idea. There's a bunch of people that you don't know that just want to hug you and say, good job. You know what I mean? And we can get down on ourselves and we can say, you know what? God, why me? Why not me? You know, God, I just saved this 11-year-old who's just said, I'm going to give up. I got chemo. But they heard your story, right? I heard a story on this little kid said, they were interviewing him. He had cancer. They said, if you can give it to someone else, would you? And he said, no. Like, he was talking about his siblings. If you can, I don't know why they asked that question, but this is interesting. He said, if you can give that to one of your siblings, or if you wish you could switch bodies with them, would you? He said, no. He said, because I wouldn't want them to go through what I'm going through, right? A little kid said that. I wouldn't want them to feel how I'm feeling. And he goes, are you like angry? And he goes, no, God chose me. This is a little kid. So you don't understand. When I look in the mirror, I'm like, yo, what's up with you? Why are you acting soft now? You've been through all of this. There's kids that what you're in, prevailing through that. I gave you everything you needed. Use it, or you're going to lose it. And you're using your gifts, and you're using your story to change lives. And you're going to be on the other side of this soon, and everything's going to be fine. And you're going to look back and say, in the process of what I went through, I experienced a lot of joy because I was able to talk about my story and share it with someone and help somebody. You know what I mean? So we really got to, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And I think that's what we need to do, you know?
I love that you mentioned the grief part because
Yeah, go ahead. Expound. Open it
through
up.
this journey, I feel like I went through so many different stages of grief,
Yeah.
of people not being there,
Yeah.
of people not showing up,
Yeah.
of people that I thought were and didn't,
Did not.
family, friends, and stuff like that. So I had a lot of grief, and even now I
Yeah.
still have a lot of grief with
Yeah.
people not understanding where I'm at now. And it's funny how you said that it's grief is love trying to look for where to land.
Yeah, it doesn't know. Yeah.
And I'm still working on this,
Yeah.
but once I shifted that direction to me,
Yeah.
I found a lot of peace because I'm like, now I'm not worried about them not being there for me because I'm like, I know me.
Yeah.
And I know that if you were diagnosed, I would be there for you.
You would be there.
And that just gives me the peace of mind that I need.
Man.
And it just, oh man, that grief, that I just had to say that.
Yeah, no, but so I'm gonna share this. It's a personal story, but when I got my wife, she made it real clear that family's important. And I said, I've been through the ringer, right? I grew up, I only knew my brother and sister. I had no relatives around. I had nobody called auntie, uncles, none of that. School is school. You had to fight people to respect you. I'm wearing 3 to 4 outfits throughout the year, right? And so family for me was a little different. And my wife's family, they will call a cousin, a sister, or they will call a friend, a brother, right? That's my brother, that's my sister, right? And I said, I never looked at I said, no, I get it, but for me, that's not my reality because I didn't grow up with my blood. So I take pride in that when I really meet my blood people, right? And I'm saying that to say, I told my wife, something you need to learn about life. Everyone's not going to respond like you respond. So when we go to the hospital and we had our first son, and I told her, I said, watch who shows up. Because I really need you to reevaluate your circle. Watch who shows up and who's going to support you. And when we had our son, and it wasn't a lot of people that showed up. And I felt so bad because she's crying.
Right.
And I'm like, that's the reality. But the one thing is, I'm here. I'm going to show up every time. And unfortunately, the people you think are going to show up are not the ones that do it. And then we had our next child. Less people showed up. And I said, that's why I said, when you say friend, use that loosely. Because most people aren't your friend. They're not.
I think with me, I get so caught up because growing up displaced and always wanting that, like that guidance. I was always looking for like, who can I count on? Who can I depend on?
Yeah.
And I've always been longing, and since I moved, all my family lives in California. I mean, in Arizona. So when I moved to California, I had no one.
Yeah.
So when I moved back,
Yeah.
I'm like expecting my family to be family. And I'm like, I learned real quick who family was.
Right.
And right now I can tell you my family members are, like, I can count them
You
in
can
one
count on
hand.
your hands.
Yeah.
The sad reality of what we're not taught, and people say, you take life too serious. I don't. Why should I not assume you're not going to lie to me if you're a liar and you lied all the time? Why would I be upset if you cheat on me, and I take you back and you do it again? No, you're a cheater. Why am I getting upset? If a snake came in this room, we're not confused that it's any other animal than a snake. Why do we do that with people? And I expressed this to my wife. You put people where they belong. Remove your feelings, because your feelings got you hurt. Seriously. You might hurt a little bit in the moment, but true love is putting not yourself first, putting what's right first. And what's right is your peace and happiness.
Right.
So in the short term, it's going to hurt. Long term, you're going to be like, that's the best decision you're going to make. Because that abusive father that keeps showing up, that, oh, I love you, but then they take a drink and now he's drunk and now he's cursing you out, put him where he belongs. No, I know your character. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, I got to treat you like your history until you show me otherwise. Why don't we do that as human beings? It blows my mind.
Right.
Now, don't get it twisted. The Bible talks about forgiveness. Jesus said, forgive 70 times 7. Because the forgiveness is for you. So I'm going to tell you something. You didn't have to say, cancer, I forgive you. You said, I'm going to beat this, right? But there are certain things in your life that you still have not been able to say, I forgive you.
Right.
And I can promise you this. Until you do that, you will never have peace. There's a pressure that's on your heart. Like you can say, I'm about 75% healed. God, what's up with this 25? And then when you think about it, and then you're like, no, they wronged me, right? And he was like, yeah, but you see my son on that cross who gave his life, right?
Right.
I'm just telling you, like, and he said, Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing. When people hurt you, a lot of people don't hurt you on purpose. They hurt you because hurt people hurt people.
Right.
You understand? So the secret to life is controlling your book and chapter. You write your story. Stop giving your pen to someone else.
Right.
I was in this, da-da-da-da-da-da, such came into my life, and then you stop writing, now they're writing.
Right.
Then you get your pen back. And now they wrote this paragraph in your book. It's your book.
Right.
Fix
I
it.
think right now that's something that I'm working on right now.
Yeah.
Is while I'm healing is taking accountability,
Yes.
but at the same time still giving myself self-love.
There we go.
And not being so harsh, like,
There we go.
you know, it's so easy to be like, it's your fault, you allowed it.
Yeah.
You allowed them, you allowed this, you allowed that, and you don't take accountability.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, yes, I allowed it, but I was also like, I was moving, and now I'm realizing now it's like I'm moving with unhealed childhood trauma, and all I wanted was, again, that concept of family.
Yes.
I've been searching for that family forever,
Yeah.
since I was young, and I
Yeah.
didn't realize like I'm moving in a way where like I'm just trying to be loved, I'm trying to be
Yes.
healed, and I'm trying to be a better person, but at the same time, I'm also human and I'm making these mistakes.
Yeah.
So it's giving yourself that grace to understand, like, okay, I did this because of this. And taking that accountability to know, like, okay, I need to address this before I continue going on with life, because these patterns are going to continue
Yeah.
if I don't address it now.
Yes.
So that's where I'm at right now. I'm just trying to, I'm very critical of myself.
Yeah.
I'm very hard on myself, but it's
Yeah.
learning how to detach myself from that little girl that just needs to be
There
loved.
you go. So you know what God sees? He sees that little girl seeing her parents fight and her crying. And he's like, I know this sucks, but I'm always with you. You know? He sees this little girl, innocent, nothing to do with you. God, I didn't ask to be here. You know? He's like, I know you didn't, but I picked you, right? So his gift to us is life. Our gift back is what we do with this life. And I think for you, you have it, you know, you extremely intelligent, right? You know, there's nothing you can't do, seriously. And I'm being honest. There's nothing you can't do. That's why you were able to prevail, and you're going to still do great things. This chapter in your life is helping you heal from what you did not heal from, which you said it. And and again, we can look at this situation and say, but God, why like this? He's like, that's the only way I can really get to you,
Right.
to slow you down.
Oh,
You see what I'm saying?
Talk about slowing down. I was like, I recently read this post that said that cancer happens when you are in a constant mode, like survival
Yes.
mode, and
Yep.
you are constantly suppressing yourself.
Yeah.
And because I didn't want to be an inconvenience to people again, because being that charity case,
Yeah.
never feeling like if somebody took us in, I was like, okay, well, I try to be less of an inconvenience,
Yeah.
almost invisible, to not feel like I was a burden on people, so I was almost and through that process,
Yeah.
like, I know I lost myself
Yeah.
and lost my self-worth. I always would say that I was a very confident person.
Yeah.
Yes, I was confident, but I didn't know what self-love was, because
Yeah.
if I knew what self-love isn't looking at yourself in the mirror and being like, oh, I look great, like, physically I look great, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not self-love.
Yeah.
Self-love is taking care of yourself, your health,
Yeah.
taking care of your temple, what
Yeah.
God gave you.
Yes.
And I put, like, again, overworking, wanting to prove myself,
Yeah.
suppressing my feelings for other people constantly, always just wanting to be accepted, to
Yeah.
be loved. And
Yeah.
I did that in life, and I did that in relationships
Yeah.
constantly. And I know that's what caused,
Yeah.
that's what triggered the
Yes.
cancer, because I was always so stressed out,
Yeah. Your
and that's what
cup's
makes me
empty.
so sad. I'm like,
Yeah.
goodness, like,
Yeah.
I poor me, like,
Yeah.
I need to give myself a break.
There's nothing in that
And
cup.
if I don't do
Yeah.
it, if I don't learn my lesson now, cancer can come back.
It could, listen, your cup, you have the personality to give, to love, to take on other people's stress, to make them feel better, and not even look at yours. You're pouring, right? But there's nothing in your cup.
From an empty cup.
You know what I mean? And now you're filling that up with what? All of this trauma, all of these negative feelings, thoughts, so on and so forth. The first person we have to forgive in any situation is ourselves. Because by forgiving yourself, it allows you to let go of any personal vendetta you may have against someone else. No one, listen to when I say this, there's no person that should live rent-free in your head if it's not positive. I don't care who you are. I tell people, listen, and I'm not being cocky about this, everybody don't have access to me. Everybody shouldn't. You don't deserve, I worked too hard to get here for you to come, if you got me messed up. Here's how we're gonna do this though, you know what I mean? Family members too. I know this may sound messed up. In order for me to be a better husband, father, and the person I want to be to other people, I had to cut a lot of people off. And I'm fine with it, right? And I always say this, I don't think I'm better than anybody else. I just don't think nobody's better than me. Because I didn't have a father or mother that told me they loved me, that hugged me. I had to build that confidence up. And then when I realized, why am I looking up to this person when I can be that person and more? Not them, but be on their level and more. God made us all in his image. Why are we tripping? Why am I? Oh, you going to go see such and such at the concert? Who? You want me to spend money to see somebody I don't know? Do they want to see me? I'm not even on that. I'm focused on me. I'm in my own lane. Because that's what I feel is real self-love. It's not, like you said, it's not getting on TikTok half naked or naked. Like, I don't understand where that came from. Self-love is taking care of it's in the word, self-love, right? That starts with, what do I need to fix here?
Right.
Sometimes I got to go within. In high school, I went to the doctor because I kept getting stomach pains. You know what the doctor told me? You got to stop eating bad food, and you're getting pain from anxiety and stress, right? I didn't even know. Like, remember I told you before, I don't know what stress is. I've been through hell. So when you let me out and I'm free, I'm like almost PTSD because I'm expecting things to happen.
Right.
You know, and they're like, yo, chill, it's not that deep.
That's
it's
funny.
like,
No.
yeah, you know, like
They don't get it.
no, and they look at you like you're crazy. I'm like, you don't, like, it's like that military guy sitting in a room, got his back to the thing, and you hear gunshots, but someone just dropped the glass, right? It's like, that was my reality. And God's like, listen, man, let me help you. Let me, I'm gonna pour into your cup. Stop pouring out. Yeah. And for you, you're in the lane of being poured into. So I challenge you, surround yourself with people that's going to support you, that's going to love you unconditionally. Let me explain to you what love is. 1 Corinthians 13. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not boast, it does not. If people really took 1 Corinthians 13 and applied it to their marriage, to their friendship, to their work, this world would be different because love is not a feeling. No, what you're telling me is you stop liking me. Because if you really loved me, you don't fall out of love. It's actions. So if you love me, for better or worse, you're here. No matter what, I can come home tripping, angry, right? Love is saying, be patient. They're not feeling well. Let them vent and then give them a hug. I didn't get that when I was younger. You know what I got? I got a belt. I got hit. I got a chancla. I got hit with a spoon or beat, extension cord, whatever. And I look back and say, man, like that was hell. But God taught me, you're not going to raise your kids that way, though. You're going to talk to them. You know what I mean? You're going to pour love into them like I poured into you. I gave you another shot. You remember all those people you might have fought, you beat up, you robbed, you this? I gave you another chance. All the women you cheated on, I gave you another chance. So what's up?
Why can't you give them
Come
a
on.
chance?
You know what I mean? I need something. Because right now you're becoming a liability. And if you're a liability, you're on Satan's team. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of stuff you've said is like I said, one day we're going to probably do another episode and we're going to switch spots and I'm going to let you interview me because there is so much alignment. It's so crazy how I'm born in New York. You're born in Arizona, right?
Texas.
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 Listen, in two different, how do we experience similar trauma?
Right.
That's wild, right? But we know that God's in the work. Isn't that amazing? What a blessing. What a blessing to sit on this couch and say, I didn't die.
Right.
And just because you're alive doesn't mean you're dead. I mean, just because you're alive doesn't mean you're living. You still could be dead.
Right.
You know how many people walk on earth right now that's not living? They're just alive. They're not living. I refuse to be that. I can't. So no one's going to live rent-free in my head. Something happened. I got to let it go. Because if I don't let it go, now I'm telling them that they're still important to me. You're still important to me. I still care for you because I'm holding on to that. And God's like, where's there room for me though? How do you love this person that hurt you more than me? What are we doing here?
That's you.
Where's the love for me? You get what I'm saying? You're tripping over this, your mother or your father or this relationship. I've been there the whole time. Can I get a little love? You know what I mean? And when you get that type of love, you walk on the other side of the road. I'm serious. In the other side of the road, people are going to call you arrogant. They're going to call you a know-it-all, that you think you're better than everybody. No. I'm made in the image of God, right? I'm made in his image. Nowhere in that Bible does it say I should look down on myself. I should be anxious. I should be depressed. I should see myself lower. It doesn't say that. You know what I mean? So we need to start walking like that. So you've answered a lot of my questions. And I'm just grateful for you to be telling your story because there is somebody, and I'm saying this right now, that's going to hear this and they're going to reach out to you and say thank you. Mark my words. I'm no prophet or nothing, but I got a good feeling about that, right? Because you know how many people I've met that had menopause and just like they're not talking about solutions. It's all fear-based.
Right.
You know what I mean? They don't see that. Well, what are you doing to, but this or that. And again, I hate to go into this, and I'll tell you this. There are some weak men out there that will portray that they love you, but they're really only there because they like what you have to offer. And unfortunately, right? There's a lot of times where we're in that circus and we don't see those red flags because we just want to be loved because we've never been loved. We want somebody there that's going to provide, somebody that's going to protect us and you can wake up to and they say, I love you, right? We want those little things, right?
But I think like half the time you don't even know yourself what love means.
Well,
because if you did,
yeah, you would never, right,
you
but
would
listen,
never allow
that's
it.
a whole nother conversation. How do you identify what real love is,
Right.
And I tell you, the problem we have as people in the world is we were taught that love is this. Spread love, Valentine's Day. He bought you the balloons and the chocolate and take you to dinner, right? He do all these things on the outside. But what is he doing on the inside to pour back into you? And what I mean by that is this. I know you work the late shift. So I'll take care of the kids. You're going to sleep in. I'm going to bring you breakfast. You tell me what you need. Oh, and by the way, if your feet's hurting, I don't massage feet, but we can bring you a massage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But a lot of men aren't like that because they're selfish. Men play games, right? Seriously. That's why if a man gets something, got it. Feelings go away. It's like, yo, wait, where's the dude I just met that was holding the door for me? But that's us as kids. So I can only speak on behalf of a man in terms of love. And I'm pointing to guys out there. Listen, it's not your fault you were in love. It's not your fault you ain't see your father, but it is your responsibility to find somebody to help you love the people you bring into your life. And I challenge you, if you don't know where to start, you open the Bible up and pray on it. Those answers will come to you, I promise. But back to you.
I do have a question for you though.
What's up?
How did you answer the question, or have you answered the question that your wife asked you, like, how can I help you?
Jeez, you remember that?
I remember that because you know why? Because I got the same question from people. How can I support you? And I'm like,
What'd you say?
I don't know.
Good, we're gonna say, yeah.
I don't know. I don't
but
know what I
but
need.
you want to know why we don't know? Because we never had the luxury to be in that position to be taught how to know, right? And it sucks. It sometimes makes me feel like I'm that 7-year-old boy, right? And it's hard when you have kids and you have to be the strong one when the reality is like, yeah, this is a hard time, right? But I got to be strong and I got to show them that we're going to get through this. But they don't know what we're really going through inside.
Right.
And it sucks. Yeah, like I don't even know, like, again, my wife asked, like, you know, is there something you like that I can do to make you feel better? Like, it's the touches, it's this. And it's so sad to say, I don't know. I don't.
But how would you feel if your wife was like, hey,
Yeah.
you had a long day at
Yeah.
work. Sit down, relax,
Yeah.
and wine. I'm going to make your favorite
Yeah.
dish. How does that
You
sound
want my
to you?
honest opinion? First of all, I would be like, thank you so much. But here's how, this could be trauma. I don't know what this is. Or this could just be my heart. I would ask her, what can I do to help you do that for me?
It's funny.
And that's just, you know what I mean? And I realized, like, my wife always tells me this, like, everyone, you're like, not everybody's like, I'm like, I get that. But we got to stop letting people off the hook. You got to raise the bar. Because if women stood on what they believed and stand for, men have to meet them where they are. So if you're like, okay, well, we're just dating, and we may date for 6 months, but if you really love me, you're gonna be here. You're not gonna cheat, and you're going to be patient, right? But this is not what the reflection is. It's the hookup culture. It's this, you know. And as we know, women use sex for love. Men use love for sex. That's why a man can do all of these things and act like he loves you, bringing you flowers and all that. Listen, that's all. It's all a facade. It really is. Right. Those are red flags out the gate. No, let's just go to a coffee shop and sit down and just talk about life. Forget all that. I don't need you to take me to Mastro's or whatever. Let's just go to let's build. You know what I mean? So to answer your question, like, it feels good to know that you're loved, but these walls are still coming down because I was neglected. I was abused. You know what I mean? Not sexually, but physically. And it made me into this person where I just didn't tolerate disrespect. And I'll go wherever I have to go to show you I'm not doing that. And God's like, that's not the life I called you to live. So trust me on this. So now I've been able to love, if I'm being honest, because of my wife loving me. Seriously.
That's beautiful.
I didn't know how outside of, I was married. This is my second marriage. The first marriage, it was hell and I had to get a divorce. I had to. And it only taught me how to be a better man, but it didn't teach me how to love. And when I got with my wife now, I was like, oh, so now it's like, I want to do whatever I can do to make you feel at peace. That's my whole objective for her. How do you come home, because she's a behavior analyst working with kids with autism. How do you come home and I can say, you know what? I'll take the kids, go to the gym. That's what I do. Right. She comes home, I'll take the kids. Even though I'm with the kids all day, I'll take the kids, go to the gym.
That like serving mentality.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
usually us that are serving.
Yeah.
It's usually us that are doing too
Yeah,
much for
yeah,
men, and it's
yeah.
not so much the men. The men, in my opinion, this new generation, you're not stepping up to the plate as leaders as you should be.
Yes, I agree.
And I think we're developing more alpha women
Yes.
now, and more masculine
Yes.
women now, and at the same time, women are more likely to get these autoimmune diseases.
Yeah.
Women are more willing to get. Women are more prone to get autoimmune diseases because of suppression. They continue suppressing themselves and stressing themselves out, and continue serving. So it's so crazy to hear you speak like that, because I'm like, you don't really hear men talk like that anymore. You don't. So for you, was that always the case?
So no, it wasn't. But I can tell you this. Since I remember, I always wanted to make sure that everybody around me felt safe, felt a part. Like, for example, if we all go out and most of us are social, but you're like in a corner, like I'm gonna gravitate towards you because I want you to feel comfortable. You know what I mean? And that's something God gave me, but I think He needed to give me that to help me love better. So my concern is your concern.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not comfortable. I'm too hot. You know what I mean? And that's just, I didn't know that till I got married. I had no idea. But now I know it. And I think this is why a lot of relationships fail, because men aren't willing to learn how to be servant leaders. And what bothers me is, listen, hats off to the women that cooks the dinner, that washes the clothes, that cleans the house up, and still work while they man just come home, take their boots off, lay out. You know what I mean? It makes me so nauseous when I see that. Because I'm like, this lady is working and stressing her butt off, taking care of the kids and everything. So guess what I do? I take my kids to appointments. My wife don't got to be there. She's working. I'll take them. Men don't really, I do things very contrary to most men. You know what I mean? Because I said, I want to be something people write in a book. Right. They never seen that. It's not possible. It is possible. Because when you really love somebody, you want them to feel that they are not overwhelmed. Right. Because like you said, the last thing I want is my wife to be so stressed out. Now she's having medical issues. Right. And that's my fault, because I could have did a better job. Right. You know what I mean?
Part of my healing journey right now, when I first got diagnosed and towards the end of chemo,
yeah.
And as I was experiencing hair loss, and I lost my hair, as you can tell. I lost my eyebrows, my lashes, and I didn't want to be around men. I didn't want to be around men. I felt safer with women. I'm like, they're more understanding, they're softer. I don't need that tough love right now. I need to be around women that just get it, that create that safe space for me, that are just graceful, that they're mindful. And it's crazy how you mentioned creating that safe space for your wife, and I'm like, it's ironic that I tend to avoid men.
Yeah. And listen, rightfully so, because we're human, right? We want to, don't be naive, because this is the unfortunate part about it. Most men think if I provide a paycheck, I did my job. If I buy you a Birkin bag, if I take you over here, and I'm like, remove all that off the table, right? And I tell people, my wife, we got it together, right? So yeah, you met, well, I didn't have a degree. No, I had my bachelor's. I wasn't making money. She stuck around. We went in the trenches, you know what I mean? And we came out, and we're building now, right? But we got it together. I didn't say, well, I need more money from you. I don't expect her to pay things. If I got the money, I'm gonna do it, period. she would do the same thing in a heartbeat. How do we reciprocate that relationship? Reciprocity. How do we do that? And that's why I said we as men need to step up and stop saying I'm doing what my grandfather did or what my dad did. No, if you really love your spouse, whoever you're with, why don't you give them a list of what can I do to make you feel better? You fill that out and give it back to me. I'll do my best. I didn't get here overnight. When we got together, we did the Love Dare book. We prayed 1 Corinthians 13 for like 6 months straight. We pray before we go to sleep. We pray when we wake up. Like the success is in the pudding. It wasn't random, but you have to, just like anything, you have to work for it. You have to want it, right? Things don't work out in relationships because typically somebody wants it more than the other person. And then there becomes a point where now look, they're like, I don't want it now and I'm good. And it's over. That's why relationships end. But I want to be the man. I'm a man's man. I want men to look, I can do that. That's dope. I respect that.
Right.
How do you know what I mean? Like you don't cheat. You never cheat. I've never cheated on my wife. I didn't cheat in any of my marriages. How you go out, people, but I know a lot of people. God put a lot of people around me. They're just people. You know what I mean? You telling me that you can't sustain from the urge of, I have the same thoughts any other man have, but we have different actions. A thought come up, that's cool, rebuke it, we moving forward. Sometimes you got to tell Satan, not today, man, try tomorrow, I'm good. Today I'm busy, try tomorrow. With the little lust, you trying to tempt me with these, tomorrow, I'm busy right now, I don't got time for you. You really got to put him in his place. You know what I mean? Because if not, he's going to put you in his place. You understand what I mean? And now, unfortunately, your salvation is on the line, right? So, but yeah, outside of the questions I was supposed to ask you, because you answered a lot of them, question for you is, and I wanted to make sure I asked this, because I thought it was very important. What surprised you most about your recovery?
I want to say my body.
Yeah.
My body, just because I put it through so much.
Yeah.
The way that my body's reacting to it,
Yeah.
the way it could be worse.
Yeah.
It could be worse.
Yeah.
I couldn't be here. Like I was diagnosed with stage 3 ovarian cancer.
Oh, wow.
And I just read a post. They have a foundation. It's a foundation dedicated to helping women with ovarian cancer. And the founder had stage 3 ovarian cancer. And she didn't make it.
Wow.
And it makes me just really appreciate life.
Yeah.
Because I never thought about death until now.
Wow.
But it was never like when I think about death, I don't think about like, I can die tomorrow, I can come back. I don't think about that, but I think about life and death. I think about how beautiful life is. And now I want to go on hikes.
Yeah.
I want to get fresh oxygen.
Yeah.
I want to do things other than go to the club where that's just low vibrations.
Yes.
I want high vibrations.
Yes.
And I want more human connections. And I want depth. I want real conversations like these.
Yeah.
I want to spread awareness. And another thing that really, really surprised me was how much support I got from strangers.
Wow.
And I mentioned I shared my entire journey on social media.
Yeah.
I got so many tips since day one. So many tips, so many resources. I found out about grants. I found out about care packages.
Wow.
All these amazing things. And like, drink this, try that. And like, strangers. Strangers, not family, not partners, strangers. And that to me was so beautiful because I'm like, I'm going through something that so many people go through. Like, cancer's a real deal. Like,
Absolutely.
so many people go through it.
Yeah.
It doesn't discriminate, and it can catch you, the healthiest person. I did sports all my life. I've been fit all my life. I can not go to the gym for a full year, and I still look like I go to the gym. I had no symptoms, nothing. They call this type of cancer the silent killer, because you don't realize it. You don't find it until it's 3 or 4.
Oh, yeah.
And the symptoms are normal symptoms that women experience every time, through their menstruation.
Got you.
Bloating,
Yep.
back pain,
Cramping, yeah.
stress.
Yeah.
Like, it's all, I mean, those are typical. You probably even
Yeah.
experienced some of
Yeah,
those
yeah, yeah.
symptoms,
Yeah.
So that to me was so crazy that I'm like, strangers have the biggest hearts, and it just gives me so much more hope in humanity.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, they get it.
Yes.
And I hate having to explain to people that are around me. I have to almost like mansplain them. I have to cancer explain them. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I have a physical reaction when I'm stressed out, or when I have a flare up, I I get hit with depression, and I get hit with extreme fatigue.
Yeah.
And I'll start crying. Like, I'm not. I think people think that I'm still like this badass, strong,
Yeah.
like Wonder Woman, and this changed me. Now I'm like, I'm a softie. Like, all I want is real love, real support, like real genuine connection. I can't do tough love anymore.
Yeah.
I can't do it to myself anymore.
Right.
Why am I going to allow you to do it to me when I'm not even allowing it to myself?
Right.
Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense.
So
That's awesome. But again, look how many things you were able to identify that you needed. So
Right.
remember what you talked about when you asked me those questions? Like, what did you say? Right? Sometimes we have to go through hell to figure out how to get helped.
Right.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Think about it. There's questions I had no answers to till I went through something. And now I know, right? Now you know, right? So I have a question for you. What does support look like for you? Because I know this idea you have, there was one point you're like, I don't even want to be around men. What does support look like for you from men or that future man? What does that support look like for you?
I think it's creating that safe space. It's just creating that safe space for, like, again, when understanding. I mean, and obviously, I'm not going to be dating right now.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
hopefully by the time I am, I won't have a lot of these GI issues.
Yeah.
But it's just creating that space and understanding, like, stress is a big. It's a big deal for women. It's a
Yeah.
big deal for anybody, and being in tune, like, as a man, I think you have to have a lot of awareness of your surroundings. And whenever I was younger, I'm like, I want to grow up. Life is going to be less complicated. Everybody's going to be more mature. We're all going to be, rainbows and hearts because
Yeah.
we're all adults. Nope.
No.
I'm completely wrong, because I'm like, now, like, you walk into a room and, like, you as a man, you have to have a lot of awareness, because there's
Yes.
so many power moves, power
Yeah.
plays that happen, and
Yeah.
if you're not aware of it, you can put yourself and your partner in danger.
Yes.
So me, as a person that got diagnosed with cancer, I have to have that in the back of my mind at all times. So I think for men coming into my life, it's like, you got to understand that I'm constantly, every single day, I'm gonna be eating clean. I'm gonna be reducing my stress level. I'm gonna be regulating my nervous system, regulating my ego. I'm gonna be doing a lot of self work within myself, just so that I can live another day on this planet.
Yeah.
And I need you to understand that, and
Yeah.
create a safe space
Yes.
for not only myself but for you as well.
Yeah.
Because now that I know how much health is wealth, I'm going to expect that from you too.
Absolutely.
I'm going to make sure that you're healthy.
Let's
I'm going to
go.
make sure that you're at your prime, because
Yeah.
I'm going to be at my prime.
Let's talk about it. Men are predominantly have high counts of tests. Women, estrogen. Women does have testosterone though. It's low. You're not supposed to balance that out. Be in your feminine, because I'll tell you something. Real men are more attracted to the more feminine a woman is.
Right.
Period. The minute you start acting like I'm a boss, whatever, I can do this, I don't need this, it makes, to a real man, they completely turned off.
Right.
Like, that's not what we're looking for. So the direction you're moving in, that's a great direction. It's just the people you're around, you're just in an environment that don't suits that. That's a toxic environment.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, that LA life, yeah, those people, they're Sodom and Gomorrah. I'm telling you. They're just dancing, you know what I mean, on glass. It's just a matter of time till it breaks. You're not supposed to exist in that light. But that when you're in those situations and you feel like that, right? Your body telling you, get out. You
Right.
got to remove yourself. And you got to know, like, yeah, you were just here, what happened? Wasn't feeling the vibe. And that's okay. You got to learn to make decisions not based. So you got to be a thermostat, not a thermometer. You set the temperature. You don't go in and watch it. You set it. Every room I go in as myself. I put the dial gauge on, right? And people warm up to me. Now, God gave me the blessing of being a leader. I knew I was a leader since I was little, but now I'm confident in that. People like, yo, you just went through a divorce. You understand? My wife met my oldest son, he's 10, at 6 months, right?
Wow.
When I left the pediatrician, they said my son had high anxiety. He was a baby. I stayed in that marriage because I knew what the Bible said about divorce. But I said, God, I'll deal with you on this one. My son can't go through this. I'm not allowing it. So I divorced her, met my wife. You know what people told me? Why are you so quick to get married? Go do your thing. I said, if you go to a dealership and you see a car you want and you got the money to pay for it, knowing that one day you're going to need to get an oil change and new tires and all that mechanical stuff, but you got the car you want, you're not going to buy it? You're not? Right? And if that car breaks, you're not going to go get another one? It's not that marriage don't work. It's people that do it don't do it the right way. That's why it doesn't work.
Right.
So don't blame marriage. That's a cop-out. Blame, were you ready and did you lead? I'm confident in my leadership ability. That's why I said I just need to see potential. I seen the potential and I said, I can lead. I'm going to take you to the promised land. You let me lead, we out. Right. If not, this your last stop. I'm out. And unfortunately, you got to stand on that. If not, you're going to find yourself in situations that are very uncomfortable. And for me, like I said, I'm a grown adult. I don't got time to be playing games. I told my wife, we ain't on the playground. We're going to make this happen. So are we getting married? Like I had the whole thing. People ask me about my kids. Oh, all my kids, they were a thought. We didn't randomly have it. Planned it out. Some came a little earlier or later. I got 4 little boys, but they were planned. And what I mean by plan is this. My responsibility to take care of them was already set out. There was no, I got another kid, I don't know. Nope. I already know what my responsibility is as a man.
Right.
And I pride myself on being who people can't be as men. I love it because they're weak. I said, you allow I'm a man, so I got to do my thing to be an excuse. That's a weak man to me.
Right.
I think it's corny, and I really do. I think it's weird. I think a lot of people will use that, I'm just a man, so no, I think it's corny. It's a decision. Because if I put a gun to your head and said, if you make that decision, I'm going to blow your head off, are you still going to do it? No. So that's telling me it's a matter of a decision.
Right.
So stop playing with me. You don't have a disability where you can't make the right decision. What are we talking about? So that's why, for me, I'm hard on men. I am. Because I know what I've been through and got here, and you had better than me, and you making excuses. Unfortunately,
Right.
I hear you, but I don't. So I need you to put your jeans on, put your boots on, let's go out here and make this work.
Right.
Right? So you go back in the house and make it work with her. And I'll wait for you outside to hear the summary of it. That's a
Yeah.
friend.
I think that there's a lot of men that are bitter. I think there's one woman broke your heart and you're taking it out on
On everybody
many other
else.
women.
Yes. There are a lot of men like that. And you want to know how I know? Because I'm a man and I hang around with men. Something women do that men can't do, because we're logical, we hold on in a different way. It's not an emotional hold on. It's a set in stone. I got hurt. It's not going to happen again. And I'm going to prevent it from happening again. And here I'm not going to prevent it. But the problem is, through you preventing, you miss the love of your life.
Right.
You miss the woman that could have made it work. You know? And that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And that's why I didn't go into my next marriage in fear. The Bible talks, where in the Bible does it says we need to be fearful? No, God doesn't give us a spirit of fear at all. So I said, God, you're with me. This is what I want. Excuse me. He said, make it work.
Right.
My foundation was already set in stone. So I knew who I was before going into the marriage. I knew I wasn't a cheater. I knew I was a provider. I knew what my strengths were. I knew I needed to work on love. I knew everything I needed before I went in,
Right.
right? And we had our ups and downs. Ups and downs are just, she wanted to travel more. Maybe we should have did things a little. And I'm like, life is life. We don't have the luxury for that. We got to build this empire. And she let me lead her. And now look,
Right.
we're moving in a great direction.
I love that you said she let me lead her, because there's so many women out here that are in their feminine that that love to serve and want to be led. But I think it's when there's that disconnect with men's masculinity and they don't know how to be leaders, that it's just a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, yes.
And that's where a lot of trauma happens, both for men and for women.
You're absolutely right. You are 100% right. And that's why a lot of people never figure it out, because they're scared. Listen, I watched the podcast with this football player by the name of Cam Newton. He was on Jason Wilson. It's phenomenal. If you ever see it, check it out. If you ever want to see a good one about men, check that out. But he said his fear of divorce was greater than his fear of being married. That blew my mind.
Wow.
You got 3 different baby mothers. You talk about a fear of divorce. You got 3 different baby. What are we talking about? Because are you trying to say that you trying to put off this projection of being perfect? You have 3 baby mothers. How is the fear? No, that's selfish. And that's why I call that's so selfish to say that. Your fear of being divorced is greater than getting married. So it's going to stop you from being married. Tell me how that makes sense. Fear. His parents are married. Father's a pastor. You see what money do to you? Yeah. And that's why I said, we got it together. Together, when we're wealthy, she was with me when I was broke, and she with me now, she's going to be with me when we're wealthy. But most women want to be led. Right. It's the man you have to look out for, and that sucks. But you pray, and you put it in God's hands, and you work on you, and you're going to pick your head up, and they're going to be looking right at you.
Right.
You're like, hey, how are That's how it happens.
It's all in God's time.
It's all in God's timing.
But he's out there.
He's there. He's always there. He's with us. And so I have one more question for you. So what is next for you in this season? Talk to us, because I heard things floating around like a documentary potentially coming out.
Yes. I'm working on a documentary with a good friend of mine. We started working on this project when I did my last session. Yeah. And when you do your last chemo, they call it ringing the bell.
Yeah. Yes.
So I rang the bell. It means that not that you're done with cancer, but you're done with chemo. Yes. So we recorded that entire process and everybody that showed up. And we have different guests that are going to be part of it. We have a therapist that's going to teach us how to be there for somebody that's going through something similar. Yes. And how you can, as a person going through something like that, how you can cope with it and the healthiest forms of coping with it. We have a nurse practitioner. She helped me through menopause, through giving me and educating me on hormone replacement treatment. Yep. I also did a lot of IV therapies before and after I did chemo that helped me with fatigue, that helped me just make sure my body and my immune system were like heightened and at my prime. And we have a naturopathic doctor as well that helped me get medicine that was more regenerative medicine. So I had both your traditional and your non-traditional. Yep. People go to him that don't want to do the traditional chemo. Got you. Okay. So you have options. Okay. You can figure out what treatments works best for you. Some cancers are more aggressive, some are not. So the choice is really up to you. Yeah. When I first started chemo, I felt like I was rushed. Everything was rushing. And you have to remember, you probably, if you're diagnosed with it, you've been having it. Gotcha. You've been having it. So it's not a matter of, from the next day on, like, it's gonna get worse. No, you have time. Yeah. So you have time to choose the best doctor, the best treatment. So that's one thing that I do want to mention. And we're also going to be interviewing a couple other people as well, and I'll leave that. It's going to be a surprise, but it's all going to be about awareness and talking about a story, and it's my story, but it's also a typical story that
Yeah.
that happens. So
Yeah.
it's going through. You're going to be going through the story, the journey with me, and everything that comes along
Oh,
with
that's cool. Yeah.
chemo and after chemo and the damage that chemo does on your body. We know that it helps fight cancer, but it
Yeah.
also helps fight the good and
Yeah.
bad that you
Yep.
have. So
Yeah.
like the good bacteria. So replenishing that. So you're gonna see kind of like how my healing journey in real life,
Yeah.
and
Oh, wow.
you'll be with me
Yeah.
and being educated on all the different resources that are out there for people going through like
That's
something
cool.
like this. So again, with this type of cancer, it's becoming more popular and
Yeah.
more common in younger women.
Gotcha. Wow.
And it's just horrible. It's so
Yeah.
sad because again, women, we suppress so much.
Yeah.
And this is something that derives from stress
Yep.
and being suppressed and being overworked and not putting yourself first. So
Wow.
we're going to have statistics and educational resources and all kinds of things. So I'm
Nice.
really excited about it.
That's dope.
It's going to be amazing. We're going to
Yeah.
be traveling to Mexico also to get a couple shots over there.
There we go.
But we're going to get from different points, different perspectives,
Yeah.
what a cancer diagnosis looks like
Gotcha.
for you or for somebody that you know,
Yeah.
and how you can support.
Wow. That is a lot, and I think that is going to be very much needed. And again, it's going to cross a lot of paths because how the courage it takes to say, I'm going to do a documentary is mind blowing. And that says a lot about you. And that's dope.
It started with just, to be honest, it started with just like, I'm like, I just want to remember what I went through so that I can value life more and I
my
can
goodness.
remember,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, and then it just started snowballing into something bigger
Wow.
and bigger and bigger. And I'm like, wow, this can really be something amazing. And our goal is to pitch it
Yep.
to different networks
Yeah.
and hopefully and submit it to different organizations to be able to
Oh, that's
get more
dope.
funding
Yeah,
for it and pick
yeah.
it up.
Wow.
Again, this is a silent killer, and it's affecting women of all ages. This is
Yeah.
the type of cancer you don't see until you're in your 60s and
Yeah,
70s.
wow,
Why
yeah.
are we seeing it now? What's in the water? What's happening? What's going on?
Something's up.
Something's up.
Yes, yes.
And this is for the girls,
That's awesome.
and we need men like you
Yeah.
to help support the women in this world.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about it.
Good. I'm excited. And lots of people are going to be excited. Again, we're going to do our best. Whenever this drops, you let us know. As you know, ambitiously dedicated, what we can do to help support you.
Thank you.
And I promise you, we got you. We got your back. And yeah, we're going to get some things right. But thank you. I do have a question. Is there any resources in terms of, you mentioned menopause and everything else. Do you have any resources you would like to share with the people about, so let's say, ones that may have helped you or some that you may know about?
Right.
For them?
Yeah. So, one of them I do want to mention,
Yeah.
Baso Wellness and Beauty.
Yep.
They do IV therapy. I did this. It's called ozone IV. It helps you oxygenize your entire body.
Yeah.
And it helps boost your immune system, your defenses,
Yeah.
and it's amazing. Like
Wow.
it helped me. Like every time I would get chemo, obviously I would feel crappy, fatigue, and once I started doing that before and after, I could go out on the weekend. I was,
Yeah.
not bedridden.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
And then they do hormone replacement therapy too. They checked my hormones. Funny story, I started telling my oncologist some of the symptoms that I was having. I had insomnia, I couldn't sleep, night sweats, and hot flashes on these
Yeah.
things that I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah.
And he prescribed me synthetic birth control. And without checking my levels, without checking anything. And when I told Naomi, the woman that works at Baso Wellness and Beauty, she was
Yeah.
so angry. She's like, how can they prescribe you, first of all, something synthetic? And two, they didn't even check your blood levels.
Yeah,
Like
what
they
the-
didn't even check they didn't check anything. Like, why are they prescribing you new medication without checking it?
Yeah.
So she checked my hormones, and she was able to help me get my levels where they need to be.
Yep.
Now that option isn't an option for many women because
Yeah.
some tumors are estrogen based. So that's a whole nother conversation about the safety of taking hormones while you have a cancer diagnosis.
Yep.
The FDA just released, they withdrew a black label that they had put on birth control for women that were having these issues. So for years, it's the black label pretty much said that this causes cancer. So women that were experiencing all these things, they were like, well, I can't take hormones because it's going to cause cancer. Or I had cancer, I don't want to get it again.
Right.
So the FDA just removed that label, and they said, actually, we were wrong the whole time. So
Oh my goodness, what is going on?
now we have that option. So that's a resource. Another one is the National Ovarian Cancer Coalition.
Yep.
If you go on their website, they're amazing. They give you resources of if you got diagnosed, post-diagnosed, or if you know somebody that got diagnosed.
Gotcha.
I was able to receive a care package from them.
Yeah.
They gave me all the essentials as a woman. They gave me like makeup.
Yeah. That's cool.
Also, like I know at St. Joseph's Hospital, their cancer center, if you need a wig, you go in there, you can receive a free wig as well. So that's amazing.
Yep.
But one thing I do want to say is every single hospital has a social worker.
Okay.
So the social worker is intended for them to give you all of these resources. So I told them, I'm like, hey, I'm going through these hardships, all these things. She's like, okay. And she did all the work for me.
Yeah.
She was able to give me Fry's grocery cards that I could use to get groceries. And she gave me there was other resources that she was able to offer. Some that you had to apply to, some that they were able to apply for you.
Gotcha.
So always ask for a social worker.
Gotcha.
Every place has to give you one. I didn't get one in the beginning because I didn't know.
Gotcha.
And through social media, because I kept sharing my story, I got so many supporters against strangers that were part of the cancer community that were just reaching out to me through DMs and telling me all these things. They're like, ask for a social worker.
Right.
And once I did, I got the grocery cards. I got so many more resources, and like it's like a social worker. They're there to fight for you. They're there to speak for you, and they know what you're going through.
Got you.
So, every single team, you have to have one. And
Of
if you
course.
don't ask, I had to ask for mine.
Yes.
I had to advocate for myself. From the first chemo treatment that I got, I had to advocate. And advocating for yourself just means asking questions. Every time I would go get chemo, after the first session, they would print out all of the medication because they knew.
Yep.
They probably were like, oh, that girl's coming. She's a needy girl. She has all these questions. I didn't care.
Yeah.
You're not going to put nothing in my body that I don't know what it is.
Exactly.
So that's what it means to advocate for yourself.
Yeah.
Ask questions.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid. Like, you have a choice. You have options. You don't have to do
That's
what
right.
they're telling you to do. Do your research. Do your research.
Yeah.
Nothing is, if there's a sense of urgency, you already got diagnosed anyways.
Yeah.
You've been having that illness or
Right.
whatever you're going through.
Yeah.
So one week isn't going to make a big difference. Do your research, ask questions, get printouts, make them explain to you what's going on until you understand and you can make the best decision.
Look at that. So resourceful and informative. And I pray for the viewers out there, if you are more curious or interested, we're going to give her social media information so they'll be able to contact you. But I got 2 more questions for you. I know we got questions all day, but it's good. No. So what would you say to someone facing fear of or uncertainty right now?
I would just say, first, talk to God. Talk to Him. Really, even if you don't know how to pray, even if you don't know, just talk to Him. Just vent. Let it out. And it's gonna be so much easier if you learn how to talk to God, because there's gonna be times where people aren't gonna understand what you're feeling.
Yep.
And know that you are your number one advocate.
Yes.
It's all about you now. I hate to say that, you're probably gonna be surprised on to who's gonna be there for you and who's not, but don't let that deter you, because you're gonna The real ones are going to understand. The
Gonna
real
show
ones
up.
are going to be there for you.
Yep.
And those are the ones that are going to go the extra mile.
Yes.
And don't be afraid to ask for help. If
Mm-hmm.
you don't know what you need, just say that. I don't know what I need.
Yeah.
I don't know what I need, but hey, a warm soup sounds nice.
Got you.
Or like, a hug sounds nice right now.
Yeah.
That's all you need, just whatever you're feeling, you're going to, sometimes you don't even know what you're feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like,
no, I know.
if you don't know, write it down.
Yeah.
Start journaling. Just
a good
get
idea.
used to being in tune with yourself.
Got you.
And try to find that voice within you, because this is a very, very personal journey, and no one's really going to understand but you. So
That's dope.
look at yourself in the mirror and just say, like, okay, this is a somatic practice that I do. It's going to be okay. I'm going to get through this. I got this. Like, do what whatever you feel you have to do to feel closer to yourself, whether that's going on small walks, taking warm baths, doing your makeup, like anything, like doing light exercises at the gym, anything that makes you feel closer to yourself.
Got you.
Like, because that's what's going to carry you through this journey. Like,
I mean,
you
are 100% right. Like I said, I work dealing with suicidal ideation, so we've created a lot of coping skills and safety plans for people, and a lot of that has to do with definitely self-love being a part of that. And, because burnout is real, and people don't understand it, just because you don't have to work in mental health to be burnt out. You know what I mean? People experience burnout in life, your marriage, maybe that your parenting, maybe just responsibility, right? Get the help. Don't stay quiet. That's how people end up missing. You know what I mean? But yeah, you hit it on the nail. Yeah, it's your job. Please reach out. If you don't know, if you're too prideful, Google it. Because there's some people that, unfortunately, a little prideful. So next question is, where can people contact you? But I want to make sure we get this in here about your GoFundMe, because we need to make that loud. And I'm sure there are tons of people that's going to see this that should be like, have a giving heart. You know what I mean? But how could we where do we start? How do we look? How do we support you on your GoFundMe?
Yeah, so I'm on social media. I'm on Instagram.
Yep.
My first and middle name. So it's Nuria.Itzel. And that's with an H, so Itzel.
Got you.
It's so funny. I used to not like my name because it was so different, but now I'm like, no, it has so much history.
Yeah, that's dope.
So it's Nuria.Itzel, and I'm on Instagram, and I'm on TikTok, same name. And you'll be able to see my entire journey
links,
from my chemo through hair loss, menopause, getting IVs. So if you're interested in any of those services, comment on any of the videos, reshare the videos. Again, this is all for awareness. This is all for you guys. You just never know who's going through something, and who might, maybe it can impact them so much as to, hey, like, maybe I should get this treatment and not this one.
Right.
Or maybe I should get this IV because I haven't been able to get out of bed. Or maybe I should go check my hormones because I have insomnia and I haven't been resting.
Yes.
It makes that big of a difference and an
Gotcha.
impact on others.
That's
So
dope.
you can find me on Instagram and on TikTok.
You can find her on Instagram and TikTok. Well, thank you so much for your time. We're going to close with a prayer.
I love it.
But I just want to say this before I forget. I really appreciate you sharing your story, having the confidence and not caring about what people say. You know what I mean? Because that takes a lot, right? But also, helping some people out there understand that first of all, it's okay to not be okay, right? One.
Yes.
But through this journey and through life, you do, if you're willing, you can find your way through and understand things that you didn't understand when you were younger. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that. You definitely had me thinking and helped me put some stuff, because I was like, you can feel very isolated and alone. When you don't talk about what's going on, you feel like you're a burden and you feel like nobody can relate to you. But we know that's far from the truth, right? So thank you so much. We appreciate it. We're going to close out in a prayer because we want to solidify this. So I will lead us in prayer. But thank you again, Lord Father. Thank you so much for this podcast, Lord. We ask that this hits so many viewers' platforms, in their table, in their nose, ears, eyes, and lips, Lord, to be able to get this information out and show people that there are resilient people out there, there are strong people out there, that there are believers that don't give up and won't give up because they got you on their side, Lord Father God. That you, through what they're going through, not only can get the glory, but can show people that you are in the business of helping. So I thank you so much for Nuria, and I do apologize if I'm butchering her name, for her courage, for her fearlessness. Lord Father, I pray that you please protect her, that you please wrap your arms around her through this journey, Lord, and that you give her everything her heart desires, from complete healing physically and spiritually and emotionally, to the person that she that deserves to be with her, and to every endeavor she pursues in life. We thank you so much and we give you all the glory. It's in your son's name we pray. Amen.